Hi, everybody.
Guess what?
What?
RJ's right here.
Because it's a Wednesday?
We're quiet day. Is that too dark? Oh, it's light.
You finally have your piece. You finally have your piece today. Like what? You finally have your piece today. Piece. Yeah. I heard you say piece, but I was thinking like a piece of something. And I was like, my piece of what? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a Wednesday in the building. How happy are we? Well, say that I don't really know.
What happened to the leftovers?
Well, the markers aren't the best. I had them out like that because I had 10th period sanitize them to try to clean them yesterday, and they were wet, and I didn't want to like stack them all up and put them together wet. I actually forgot they were over there until you just said that. But they're kind of stained because the markers kind of aren't that great. There's like nobody here. Or is it really just RJ and Bella? Is there other?
RJ, Bella, Eva.
I don't know there.
At the end of class, you should go into the.
I don't even know what to do.
Yesterday, so you can look at all the puppies.
I will do that. Well, there's going to be more on here. I have more on. Okay, we can log in. I feel like it's going to take us a while. There's only 9 people logged in at home. We're just going to do review just like we did yesterday. I feel like I don't have to talk so loud. When you come back 9th period, you're going to have a test. It's very similar to what we're going to do here.
What's the code?
56 KLP. I don't have an iPad right now.
They're all in the building. My.
I know. What am I thinking? What did I say?
KLP.
These are my sister's initials. KL. Fun fact. Where is everybody at? Annette? You guys probably normally sleep in on Wednesdays.
I woke up at 5 in the morning.
Why?
I just woke up.
Oh God, did you go back to sleep?
Yeah, I woke up at 6.
I didn't even set, I forgot my alarms weren't set for Wednesdays.
I usually get up at like 12:30.
What?
Wednesdays I get up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
I usually
I normally
get
get
up
up
like
around
9.
7, but I woke up at 6:30 in a panic, and I was like, why didn't my alarm go off? But it's because I only have them set for Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Because I'm always up by 7 anyway. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta get out of here.
And I woke up.
Everybody at home is upset that they have to be live on a Wednesday because they never missed any school like you guys did. That's what they're complaining about.
I mean, I never missed a day of school. I mean,
No, but I mean, because you guys are in here right now because we had off last Monday. So every day off of school that we have tends to be on Monday. So you guys had off on Monday, you had a 2-hour delay on Tuesday, and cohort B is coming to school more than you are. You all have to go to school the same amount of time.
Virtual for the whole time.
Right. But that's why, Seda, to answer your questions, because we all didn't have school on Wednesday or last Monday. So we all have to make that day up, sort of, kind of, whatever.
I was glad for that though, because it was my birthday and I didn't have to do anything.
Okay, I'm going to switch this to give you your first screen. You're matching. So you're going to kind of try to think about which 2 kind of explanations go together. So, for example, like adding numbers with different signs. How do you do that? Do you add them normally and keep the sign? Do you change it to an addition of a positive? It kicked you out. You could probably log back in. Try to match them up. Try to do it. I would read them all first. We're not making it up. Seda, just stop complaining about it. How about that? Oh, Wyatt, thank you.
There you go.
Seda seems grumpy today. She's up early on a Wednesday. What am I sharing here? This one. But this is just a review. This is really just all the addition and subtraction stuff that we talked about yesterday. Your iPad needs charged. Great. We're just trying to process where the plugs are. The only plug that's open is that one on that side, way over there, like where Bella normally sits. Try to get it on 4 tries. Parker, did you match up your words? Are you even logged in? I don't even see your name. Oh, I lied. Sorry, you're right there. I'm sorry. I see your name. So how do I add numbers with different signs? Parker, turn around. Maybe I normally can't hear you talking so much because RJ is always in front of you deflecting your voice because you talk so quiet. How do I add numbers with different signs?
Subtract the numbers and keep the larger sign.
Subtract them and keep the larger sign. First thing you need to know for your test. How do you subtract the negative? Do I add them and keep the sign, change to an addition of a positive, subtracting a smaller number minus a larger number? How do I subtract a negative number? Like what if it was 4 minus -3? What do? Add. Change to an addition of a positive. It's the same thing. Adding numbers with the same sign. So how do I add 2 negative numbers? Do I add them normally and keep the sign, or do I subtract them normally and it's always negative?
Add them normally and
Right.
keep the sign.
And then subtracting a small number minus a larger number. So that's like, and we really didn't like talk about the rule, but that's like saying, what if it's 4 minus 10? How would you do that? You would subtract them, but it's always going to be negative since your smaller number is first. So you can subtract them and get 6, but if I take 10 away from 4, then I'm in the negative space. Good job. Okay, back to what we actually like. Maybe. Maybe. What do you get when you multiply or divide 2 negatives? -3 times -4. Or -100 divided by -50. How do you guys like things so fast?
I like to.
No, but I'm saying like Brooke just posted hers and it already has a like on it.
Just go on.
I know how to do it, but it was like as soon as it went up, it got liked at the same time. You understand what I'm trying to say? Are we confused? Who said like, oh. Always positive. Okay, so we know that one. You do need to know that. And it does get confusing. I know it's easy whenever we split them up and we're talking about addition for one day and we're talking about multiplication for one day. But we do tend to get confused because when we multiply 2 negative numbers, you always get something positive. But you have to remember that when you're subtracting 2 negative numbers, it's not the same thing. We're going to get another one of these. So I'm going to switch your screen off. 5, 4, 3. Is this what you were doing yesterday that you were telling me about? 2, 1.
You're so cute.
It's just going slow today. How do you subtract? That's not what I wanted. Sorry, there's going to be more, but that was what we did yesterday. What is -3 times what gives you 27? So you are going to have some questions on your quiz where you're like trying to find out that missing number. Unit 6, we're going to go through how to actually solve something like that. What?
Yeah, I just don't like that.
Does anybody actually know how to solve? Did you see one-step equations like that last year? Because right now we kind of just think about this in our head. So we don't need to worry about actually solving it. That's what we're going to do next unit. -3 times what gives you 27? So think about it in 2 parts. What do I multiply by 3 to get 27? 9. And then is my answer going to have to be a positive number or a negative number?
Negative. Negative.
Well, like the x is supposed to be negative.
So we're just trying to figure out what this missing number is. So we know that the value of it has to be 9 because 3 times 9 is 27. But then what's my rule for multiplying positives and negatives? What do I have to multiply together to make sure I get a positive?
Negative.
Right. So it would be -9.
Oh, yeah.
We think about it in 2 parts.
Got that real quick.
And like I said, unit 6, we're going to go through reviewing one-step equations like that because I think some of you saw it last year. and then add in like multi-step, 2-step, 3-step, all the way up. That's what unit 6 is. 6 minus what? Oh, I'm on the wrong pen. 6 minus what is 12?
Are we doing the test today?
Or 9:30.
Okay, great.
Just think about it. First of all, think about it this way. I'm subtracting something, but my number's getting bigger.
So it has to be
6 minus what? So you can use your number line to help you. So if I'm at 6 and I have to get to 12, how many spaces do I move on the number line?
6.
Right. I'm at 6. This is where I'm starting. This is where I'm ending. I'm at 6. I move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to get to 12.
18.
I got it.
I have to move 6 spaces.
I think it's
Pay attention. But if I do 6 minus 6, where do I go?
Zero.
To 0. So what do I have to subtract to make my number bigger?
-6.
-6, right? Because my rule says that if I have something written like 6 minus, why is it working like this today? -6, how do I subtract a negative? Holy moly. That changes to addition, so I don't know why I made that negative. 6 minus -6, like y it says, you make it a big ginormous plus sign, so it turns into 6 plus 6. So anytime you see your number getting bigger, you're subtracting a negative value. So you can count your spaces, but then think about it. If you're just writing 6 here, think about it. What's 6 minus 6? 0. Or how Parker said it's 18. Think about what is 6 minus 18. Check yourself. Make sense? I don't know why my board's working like that. I kind of am really irritated by that. -8 minus what is -20? Use the number lines to help you. They don't all work funky like that one that we just did. Those are just the ones where if you're subtracting something and your number's getting bigger, you have to think a little goofy. So write your number and then think about, check the sign of it. If you're subtracting a negative number, then you're adding. So if I'm at -8, again, 2 parts. How many spaces do I move to get to -20? From -8 to -20, how many spaces is it? 12. And I see a lot of us writing 12, but our signs are getting confused. So my question is this going to be a positive 12 or a -12? So is my number, so I'm starting at -8 and I'm ending at -20. Am I getting bigger or am I getting smaller? Smaller. So to get smaller, do I subtract a positive or do I subtract a negative? Positive.
I knew that. I just need to think about the clothing thing. Like, I have $8, -$8. I bought a shirt for 12.
So you spent 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't spend -12 because then you would be going the other way.
No, get money.
What? Why is this? I really screwed this up, huh? Do we remember how to multiply fractions? Try it. I'll give it a minute.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, try it. You probably remember more than you think.
We're multiplying this?
Multiplying. Anytime you see parentheses like that, you have 6 times -2/5.
I don't think I remember. I just remember the butterfly method.
That butterfly method's not right.
It's not, right?
I don't know what you got. I don't know honestly what the butterfly method is, but the pictures because I know you guys say that because I was looking at pictures of it in Google and the pictures that they had, it was not right, whatever they were doing.
Yeah, it's not.
Like I said, I don't really know technically what you guys were taught, so I might be misspeaking when I say that. Yeah. Yeah, but multiplying and then what does the butterfly method tell you to cross multiply? Yeah, but going across is not the same as diagonal. So I don't know if it's getting confused in translation and you guys used it for something different. I don't know. But point is, I don't like it. Heather, we did these last week. She wrote that she's confused on her board. So what's the first thing you want to do with this 6? Put it over 1. So I'm going to send this out. Why is my thing going so slow? So put 6 over 1. And then when you're multiplying, it's really, really, really simple. So stop being so intimidated by the fraction, because once you write this, you're just going straight across. 6 times negative 2. 6 times negative 2 is equal to negative 12. 1 times 5 is equal to negative 5. So it doesn't matter if you put the negative sign in the top and the bottom out front, as long as you have a negative sign out front there. And you can do that part last, right? You know that a positive times a negative is always going to give you something negative. So you multiply them straight across. So don't be intimidated by the fractions, because it's just 2 tiny multiplication steps. But like if you were looking at this, what does the butterfly method tell you to do? 6 times 5?
Yeah, so I did 6 times 5 and then 2 times 4.
And you used it just to multiply a fraction like this?
Yeah,
Why did they teach us that? It seems more easier just to go across.
Well, because that's the right way. It's not like 12 over 5 isn't the same thing as 30 over 2.
And then I think they said to like simplify it after.
Yeah, but even still, I don't know.
Still would be though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have, like I said, I don't know if it's because you do that like when you're solving proportions. Like if it was 6 over 1 is equal to something. So I don't know what you guys, I don't know. But don't do it, is my point. Oh my God, this is painful.
Yes.
Orders of operation.
What are the orders of operation? There's 3 of these in a row.
I'm just deciding to do. I didn't want to write down the words. I just made the symbol.
Yes. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's how I learned it. It's not going to be hard, Wyatt. That thing, Jordan, I don't like that picture. Did you post it yesterday or was that my other class that posted it? It was in here. It's so weird looking.
That's what that is.
Yeah, see, that's what I found. See, that's not right. Because if you look at that, I don't know why I'm wasting time on this, but you multiply this and you get 30 over 120, which is not the same thing as 50 over 72. It bothers me. I don't know what the heck you guys use that for. Okay. So yeah, so we know them. So 5 more seconds, you're going to get another one of these. I know we like them. Here's Heather bringing us all back on track. Okay, so we know that it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction.
What is that?
No clue. So then does multiplication always come before addition? Zeta's changing her answers. Right. So even though M comes before D in the acronym, do you know what an acronym is? Have you heard that word before? An acronym is like PEMDAS, how each letter stands for something different. So even though the M comes before the D in the acronym, you always go left to right. So yeah, so some of us know that it depends, but we forget why. But it's because you always go left to right. So if division is written first, then you're going to do the division before the multiplication. And here's our puppies and our animals.
I don't want dog food.
Oh, that pizza looks really good.
I've done a ton of school pizza.
No, school food typically is not that good. Okay, there's one more of these, so 5 more seconds. Here's Heather always bringing us back. I can put this back on the screen, yeah, at the end. There you go. So how do you know whether to do addition or subtraction first? Oh, that's a good point. That wasn't even where I was going for that. So if you have something in parentheses, you always want to do that one first. I was going more so for like, if all you have is a bunch of addition and subtraction in the problem, how do you know which one to do first? But I did like that answer about the parentheses, because even if you have a bunch of exponents or multiplication, if you have the addition inside of your parentheses, then you definitely want to do that first. So I appreciate you, Kai, for mentioning and pointing that out.
Is that addition and subtraction the same thing with multiplying?
Yep. So like this is
As much.
Oh God. Look, Siri said she figures as much. I always hit my Siri on my watch. I'm screwed up. Brooke said whatever one is first from left to right, or if it's in parentheses. So again, anything in parentheses always trumps anything else. Do that one first. But then multiplication and division, do left to right. Addition and subtraction, do left to right. That's the main thing. Okay. This is our last one. But I will, okay, I don't like that at all. I didn't like that picture. That freaked me out. We'll put this back on at the end of the period so that you guys can play on it again. But again, appropriate, preferably not really creepy things like this. That's really freaking me out. I don't really like it. Yeah, I'm getting it off there. Sorry, Austin. I don't like things like that. It scares me. I don't like weird masks like that. Okay, ready?
Ew. What? Like, put good things up there. They're putting like scary things.
I put the
Oh,
tiny
look at the doll.
Okay, 5, 4, 3.
Oh my God, you know what, I'd rather not.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You sure? Oh, we'll put it back on. Levi, I don't like that either.
Someone spoke German.
That was Kai. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Orders of operation. Back to actual math. What comes first? Parentheses. So you do want to pay attention because we have parentheses here now, just splitting up numbers, but is there anything to do in this set of parentheses? No, it's just keeping it. So there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. So what do we do first? I have addition, division, subtraction, and multiplication. Left to right. So even though I have multiplication here, the division sign is written first. So you do want to divide those first. Yeah.
There's a -4 and -8, and that can fall to +12.
No, because of your orders of operation. If you didn't have this division problem here, you would, but your orders of operation tell you that you have to do that division first. So what is 12 divided by -4? Right. So again, if it makes it easier, think about it in steps. You get 3, but then it's going to be negative. So then with your orders of operation problems, bring everything else down. -3, minus signs and negative signs are the same thing. So even though I got a -3 here, I can just read that as saying -3. So then I'm gonna bring down my -3 times -9. So again, you can see like Aiden was recognizing that these make 12, but it's not gonna cancel out here because your orders of operation make you have to force that into a 3 first. So now I have a subtraction, and multiplication. So what comes first out of those? Right. So always try to take the sign before the number. It just makes it easier. I have -3 times -9.
Positive and +27.
Yeah.
So then again, I took this with my number. So I got +27. Bring everything else down. I didn't use my -3 yet. And again, don't think that there's a difference between negative signs and positive signs. I have that didn't make any sense. Negative signs and subtraction signs. So is this a +27 or a -27? Right. So if you're trying to figure out, well, what operation goes in front of it, since it's a positive number, it means you're adding. If it was a negative number, you would be subtracting. But there's no difference between those. So now I have subtraction and addition. Right. Left to right. So now I have to do -8 minus 3. So if you're at -8 and you subtract 3, where do you end up? -11. Plus 27. These are like your harder problems. So what's negative 11 plus 27? How do I add signs when your signs are different?
You do 27 minus 11, and then, yeah.
Right. So if I'm at negative 11, again, use your number line, and I can pass out number lines to you on the test too if you would want one. If you're at negative 11 and you add 27, is that to the right or to the left?
Right.
Right. So then count 27 spaces that way.
16.
Right. So you get 27 minus 11 is 16, and then ask yourself if it's positive or negative. Since this is bigger, it's going to be positive. But for your orders of operation problems, take your time, go step by step, just like I did. Do one at a time, then bring everything else down. If you get a negative number, you're subtracting it. If you get a positive number, you're adding it. You guys tend to ask if it's a minus sign or a negative sign, but it's all the same thing. It's not a difference. Ready for the next one? Because it's going to look really scary.
Oh, goodness. What? Just show us.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
0.2.
Fun.
what's this? What's the line?
That's a typo from when I
Oh.
screenshotted it. There's the cursor in Microsoft Word.
These
That's the
parentheses are also
least
two. I was so confused why there were two parentheses.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Start from the top. What do you do first?
You do parentheses.
Right, because your orders of operation say do the parentheses first. So in this problem, what would be the first thing that you're going to do?
5 minus
Okay. What's 5 minus 10?
5. Yeah.
Not even bad yet. Once you do that, bring everything else down. You're going to recognize that it's really not complicated. This is, we're almost done with the actual problems like this. So this is like the last one. We did ones like this at the end of last week with the decimals and things like that. What do you do now?
Parentheses.
Okay, so I still have parentheses, negative 5 plus 8 squared. So what should you do first in there? What is it, 16?
64.
Right, so make sure you're not multiplying it by 2. You're doing 8 times 8 to get 64. And look, it's still not difficult. Still not difficult. We're just going step by step. It's a little bit of work, but it's okay. And we're just ignoring this big scary decimal at the end until the very last possible moment when we actually have to deal with it.
There we go.
Now what?
Parentheses.
Okay, so now inside the parentheses, I have negative 5 plus 64.
59.
So your rule says to subtract them. So what is 64 minus 5? Count on your fingers if you have to. 63, 62, 61, 60, 59. I have to do 59 divided by negative 0.59. So at the end of last week, we talked about fractions and decimals and rational numbers. And we talked about how it's going to make it significantly easier to make this into a fraction. Does anybody know what this is as a fraction? 59 over 100. That's all you have to do. Okay. It's negative. What's my rule for dividing fractions? You go across when you multiply.
You flip one of the fractions. Like
Keep
you
it-
turn that one into a fraction.
Same.
You flip them, and then
Change to multiplication.
See, I
Flip
think I
this.
changed the sign.
What's going to happen here? Can anybody recognize what's going to happen? If I have to do 59 times 100 over 59.
it's gonna be 5.
If I multiply, look at this, think about it this way. If I take 100 and multiply it by 59 and then divide it by 59, what do you get? 100. So anytime you're multiplying and dividing by that same number, you end up with just 100.
What I did, like down here, I just did 59. Like if you were trying to get this number into 59, then you would just multiply it by 100 because that's what I did.
So you do want to look out for something like that. So if I give you something even like this, so what if I tell you you have to do 64 divided by, you don't have to write this, divided by 0.64. What would that be? it would work out the same way because you would turn it into a fraction and do 64 over 100. So then your 64s would cancel out and you're just left with 100. So just go step by step. You do want to remember the stuff that we did at the end of last week where you're converting it into fractions because we hate fractions, but they make it a lot easier for us. So exciting and so fun. Okay, moving on. This is your last one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What do you have to do first? Parentheses. There's nothing inside of the parentheses. So right now, the only operations we have are division and multiplication. So we have to do the division first because it's written first. So I have to do 1/5 divided by -5. What's my rule for dividing fractions? Again, you keep it the same. You change it to multiplication. But right off the bat, this isn't written as a fraction. So how can I write 5 as a fraction? So now if I flip it, I get -1/5. So if I multiply those together, what do you get? And then is it positive or negative? I have positive times a negative.
Negative.
Right. So just go step by step. I didn't use this yet, so now I'm going to bring down my multiplication and say -1 over 5. When I multiply those, is it going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
So then I have 1 times 1,
1.
25 times 5. So again, you don't need to do it in your head, but if you wanted to, what's 5 times 20?
Big number.
Or just go through and do your math. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, 125. So you get 125. But stop being so intimidated by the fractions and thinking you can't do them. Just take it step by step. Don't look at this as all one big problem. Just look piece by piece by piece by piece. Fractions are just a bunch of tiny multiplication and division steps. And like on a test or something, show your work. This is why I want you guys all taking it in the classroom, because if you're showing your work, you're going to get much more credit than if you just write a random number and don't get any points on it. Okay. Done with all of the actual math stuff. Well, I guess not really, but like the problems. You're also going to see some questions that don't ask you to solve them, but to just figure out if it's true or false. So is 8.6 plus -8.6 equal to 0? So do you think that's true or do you think that's false? What are you doing back there?
That's a different sign.
Majority of us say true, right? Even if you see something really, really intimidating like this on a test where you have decimals or you have big fractions, what's the rule if they're opposite numbers? They always just cancel out to 0, so you should say true. About half of us are there, which is, there's no absolute value of anything. Okay. 35 minus -80 is positive. True or false? Yikes. Yikes. How would I solve that? If I have to subtract -80, what's my rule for subtracting negatives?
You would just add it.
You would turn to addition. So 35 minus -80 is the same thing as 35 plus 80. Is 35 plus 80 a positive number or a negative number? Positive. So is this positive? True. So even on a true or false question like this, like there's nothing, it's not telling you to solve it, but there's nothing stopping you from trying to solve it and figure out what it is to check your work. But if you're subtracting a negative, it always turns to a big addition sentence. 2 positives always make a positive when you're adding. Whoa, what? 7 over 2 plus -3.5 is positive.
My screen is like did all these like.
Yeah, I know, mine's looking like that too. I don't know why. 7 over 2 plus -3.5 is positive. If you see a problem where you have numbers in different forms, you want them in the same form. So you either want them both to be fractions or you want them both to be decimals. Does anybody know what 7 over 2 is? Or what is half of 7? 3.5. So is 3.5 plus negative 3.5 a positive number? What's 3.5 plus negative 3.5? What's 3 plus negative 3? 0. What's 4 plus negative 4?
0.
Anytime I have a positive and a negative of the same value, even though they don't look the same, these are exactly the same value. One's positive and one's negative. It's always going to be 0. You should click false. It's a trick, kind of a trick question. Negative 3.5 plus negative 9.7 is positive. True or false? This is our last slide. Again, I would urge you to try to solve it. We're all over the place with this. I thought these were going to be easy. What's your rule for adding two negative numbers? Add them and keep the sign. So if I'm in debt $3.50 and I buy something for $9.70, am I going to be in more debt or am I going to have a bunch of money? I'm going to be in more debt. So you're going to be negative. So it's false. Are we okay? You're making me nervous. Okay. So that's the end of that.
I'm confused.
I know.
Because like whenever we learned about the multiplying stuff, it's
Yeah.
how many
Yeah, that's what I said. And it's easy whenever we like say we're doing all addition today. We're doing all multiplication today.
But then we're all over the place.
Yeah. So you do have to keep them straight. You guys, when we come back, 9th period, we'll take our quiz. It's not going to be bad, I don't think. There might be some difficult ones like that. They're not all going to be crazy like that. But again, just go step by step. You guys that are at home have nothing to do today for 9th period. So those of you in cohort B that are coming to school tomorrow will review with us. And then we're going to take the quiz 9th period. Those of you that are cohort C, I'm going to have your test posted to you tomorrow to just do during the day. But you guys can log out. There's no homework, nothing. You guys basically have a free 9th period. What?
Since they're reviewing and taking the test tomorrow, will you be live?
No.
Whichever one thing.
What?
The image wall thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No. So you guys, and I'll post this on Google Classroom. I was like going back and forth. But you don't have to worry about doing anything 2nd period tomorrow. Well, you're going to be in here with us. You're going to take the test today. You're not going to take the test tomorrow. Is this it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, you guys, we won't be live tomorrow. That way I can get cohort B in here and I just think it makes it easier to review when you're in here than you're at home. Do you agree with that?
Does that mean that we're gonna be tomorrow?
No, Parker. Come to school like a regular Thursday and don't worry about anything else.
Anytime I search
They're putting not graphics, but like.
Stop posting weird things. I don't like it, Austin. I'm gonna kick you out of the thing forever. If that wasn't you. That wasn't even you. You're making me yell at Austin because you're being sneaky in the back. Austin, I'm so sorry. You don't have to. Seda, I like your Grey's Anatomy. Yes, Parker, go ahead. But yeah, you guys, basically tomorrow, you're not going to worry about anything for 2nd or 9th period. So happy free day. I like that little thing going. Oh man. I'm out of coffee. And I was gonna go get some, but now I just remembered that I have a meeting at 9:30. I can't get my coffee. Man. Sada's posting all the Grey's Anatomy stuff. Sada, I like all your Grey's Anatomy stuff. I'm still offended that you guys don't even know what it is.
I know it is.
Or that you guys don't watch it.
No.
Man, I really want to go get my coffee. I guess I can probably do it in like 6 minutes.
You're saying.
What the heck? I heard that show was really good, Jordan. Is that show good? My friend was telling us, a bunch of us, to watch it. She said it was really good. It's on my list of things to watch.
I know, I do not want to see it for people. I want to see funny.
Ooh, Maddie, I don't like that at all. What the heck is wrong with that dog? What is that, a cat? She's just over there giggling, waiting for me to see it. Oh, look at these little cats in the cup. I guess I shouldn't still be recording all of this, huh?